You have to wonder, with all the information that's out there on YouTube, why there are so many people who seem to be totally out of the loop when it comes to any of this information. They're more concerned about buying their homes than they are in the American politics. I'm now sick and tired of hearing Limbaugh and Hannity talk about Obama and Hillary and their campaign and what they're trying to do. It means nothing. In the short term, it means nothing. In the long term, it means nothing. It's a distraction, and they're acting like this is the most important thing that we can hear for today. Well, the most important thing we can hear for today is that something very bad is coming down. Take the Pennsylvania incident. These are becoming more and more frequent. Had that happened, had I found somebody and beat the heck out of them because they beat my dog or hurt my daughter, that would be called what do they call it? Vigilantism. What's the word for that? Anyway, taking the law into my own hands. And I would be arrested. It's illegal. So my question is, why are the police getting away with this when clearly they did something very wrong? Now, they took 13 of them off the streets. BFD. 13 of them are off the streets. What I do here is a lot of research. We go through and look at, oh gosh, just a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, I'm a programmer, hence the need for all the computers. But they make it very easy to get a lot of other work done. One's doing something while the others are doing something else. It's all really quite handy. But I digress. My point is, we need to wake people up. But who is willing to take the first bullet? Who's willing to even call, risking caller ID, the Pennsylvania Sheriff's Office and say, what the hell is going on out there, and we want some justice? We've got Hillary dodging bullets, and nobody seems to take her to task on that. There was an article where CBS came out and said you were wrong. She comes out and says, well, that's the way I remember it. I was tired, I had a problem, and we were traveling quite a bit, and I got confused. Well, do we want a president that can't remember whether he really did or did not duck and exit a plane under fire? And we all know what would have happened to the pilot if Hillary were put in any kind of danger whatsoever. There are too many inconsistencies. And one of the biggest inconsistencies I see now is, why is the government stockpiling food, equipment, very, very fervent on getting everybody's DNA? Believe me, people, it is not to find terrorists. It's to look for genetic markers. When you send your DNA in order to get your family history, you've just exposed yourself to a national database. They're taking any excuse to get our DNA, and who knows what happens when you go into the doctor's office and have blood drawn or any other procedure. That's probably going into a database as well. They're ready to chip people for very good reasons. There's a cell phone that can go into your body now, and this cell phone will call given certain medical conditions. Your heart stops or you go into a diabetic shock, it will call a hospital near you. Well, this is wonderful, but it's also just a preamble to Big Brotherism, chipping America. We're going to chip our pets. I understand that when you go overseas and take your pet, it must be chipped. Well, they're getting ready for all of this. And the big question is why. And then a couple of other things, food for thought. We've had this hurricane, very bad in Burma. We've had an earthquake in Indiana. And people are wondering if HAARP, HAARP, is not somehow responsible for this, and they're just playing games. The Chinese said that they will control the weather during the Olympics, and then quickly responded a day or two later when it came to their attention they may have been overstepping a few things or misspoke, as Hillary might say, and said they meant that they were going to seed the clouds to make sure there was no rain. Well, I think they had something more powerful in mind. But why are we digging all these DUMBs, deep underground military bases? Is it truthful that there are so many underground tunnels crisscrossing the United States where trains are traveling at hypersonic speeds, whisking people around? Confirmation of any of these would change a lot of our minds. Are we really in communication with the Greys? With any kind of extraterrestrial life? Are we being controlled by some of these other people? I mean, are the decision makers being controlled or influenced by them? But the big question is, why are we going so fervently underground and digging, and Switzerland can put everything underground. We have the Doomsday Seed Vault Bank. What's up with that? We have many seed vault banks. We have many seed banks. None of them called the Doomsday Seed Bank, buried deep inside a mountain in Norway. Are we really concerned about Nibiru? Are we really concerned about 2012? Is all of this military preparation a cause, a knee-jerk reaction to what they believe may happen, and they're trying to collect the right people with the right DNA and the equipment, scatter them all over the world, and hope somebody survives? And one of the biggest theories I'm entertaining right now, is they're all going to jump down in their rabbit holes when the time comes and hit that big red button. That big red button will launch missiles all over the planet, a la Jericho. And when they are launched, the world will be clean when they come up again. There will be no resistance, there will be no memory, there will be no mutants, there won't be anything. They can start with a fresh slate. Some food for thought.